Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivanka, and if this is your first time stopping by my channel, then welcome, and I hope you enjoy everything I have in store for you. So today's video is very exciting for me because I got to try out a new product that I've never tried before. So today's video will be a little first impressions and demo of these new makeup brushes that I got, and these are from my makeup brush set, and it's a website and they sell different types of brushes. They sell like regular brushes and what I call the toothbrush brushes. I don't know, like ever since these came out, I've seen them all over Instagram, and it's been probably like a year or maybe even two. And they just remind me of a toothbrush, so that's what I call them. And I haven't been using brushes very much lately, especially when it comes to things like my foundation and my concealer. So if you've been keeping up with my channel, then you know that I barely use it. It's all about the Beauty Blender for me. So I was very skeptical about using these brushes because I haven't been using brushes for a while now, and I've gotten so used to the kind of silky finish that a Beauty Blender gives you. So if you do like this makeup look and you have been wondering about these brushes, then you need to keep on watching this video and see what I think. So I got all of these. So for these ones, it actually has the name of like what it's for on the brush itself. So like for example, this is the blusher brush, so it says that right there, so that's very helpful. So first I'm going to prep my face using some primers, and then I'll get into the using of the brushes. What I'm going to do is just kind of dip the brush in this. Still have a lot left on this, and usually I still have to reapply a little bit more because the Beauty Blender does soak it up a lot more than this brush. I feel like it's because this brush is so dense, it doesn't soak up as much as like my regular foundation brush, which is great. I feel like for this particular brush, I would give it an 8. And that's only because I'm not used to using brushes anymore. And I would still go in with a Beauty Blender, but that's just because I've gotten so used to that flawless finish after Beauty Blender. But I definitely feel like if you want to save a little bit of foundation, getting a brush like this to apply your foundation and then just finish it off with a Beauty Blender would be really great, because you definitely do save a lot of product than if you just from the start go in with a Beauty Blender. Even if you wet it, it still does soak up a lot of foundation, and I know that because when I'm washing it, so much comes out. So I would definitely say this brush is worth it. So now I'm just going in with a damp Beauty Blender. By the way, I used the powder brush for my foundation. I just realized that. So this is actually the foundation brush. So I'm just going to use this differently. I feel like I should do a little inventory of what I have here. So this is for the blush. This is for lips, which I feel like it's pretty big for lips. For eyeshadow, like this would be really good for nose contour actually. And this is for eyeliner. Wow. Now this is for the concealer. This is for the eyebrows. Now I'm debating whether to just stick to my regular eyebrow routine or if I should test it out. And this is for contour. So now let's go try the concealer brush. With these brushes, you really don't need a lot of product, so this might be a little bit too much, so I'm probably gonna use that on my chin a little bit afterwards. For this video, I wanted to focus on the brushes itself, but I will mention all of the products that I used in the description box, so check in there if you do want to see which products I used. I'm going to use my concealer for my eyeshadow primer as well, so I'll just stick to the same brush for that. So it's basically whatever I have left over, I'm just pulling up. I feel like this worked a lot better. I feel like because the brush is smaller, it is easier. And I don't even think I will need a beauty blender. Like for this brush, I would give it a 9, and that's because I never used a brush for my concealer because I felt like with the beauty blender it was just so much better. But I really like the finish of this concealer. I feel like it is so full coverage and so great, and it's actually blended really well. So this is great. I really like this. Actually, I probably should have even given it a 10. So because I messed up a little bit, I will now use the foundation brush, and I will use that for my setting powder. I'm going to attempt to bake with this. Oh my gosh, this actually works so well. I'm so shocked. Like if you watch my videos, you know that I barely use brushes for anything anymore. But I feel like this is gonna make me go back to brushes. Look at that. Wow. I'm excited about this. I would still use a very fluffy brush just to get everything off of myself, because I feel like with these dense brushes you don't want to be like sweeping your face too hard with it. So now I will use this Morphe brush just to like sweep everything off of my face, because I feel like these brushes are really dense so it won't work as well. And this one is the Morphe E48 brush. For my eyebrows, I did my regular brow routine because the brush that comes with this set is not really ideal for your eyebrows. Now I'm going to use this blusher brush, and I will use that for my contour. So I will use this shade right here and a little bit of this one. Whoa. This is a lot harsher than what I'm used to, and if you're using these brushes, you definitely have to keep in mind to use a lot less product, which is actually great because you end up saving a lot of money that way. But if you're used to using regular brushes, then you definitely have to be careful with these because they're so dense that when you apply even a tiny little amount, it's a lot. So now I'm just going to add some highlight, and I'll just use my regular highlight brush for that, and then I'll get into the eyeshadow. Essentially, this is the only eyeshadow I use now, which is that Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. Ever since I bought it, I don't think I use any of my other palettes. So I'm not necessarily going to use these brushes for what they're intended for. I'm just looking at the shape of them, and I'm just going to use what I think would work the best. So this is a lip brush, but I will use this for my transition shades. I'm going to use this color right here. It's actually not bad, like it transfers pretty nicely. Actually, this blends pretty nicely. I'm not going to use this as an eyeliner brush because that's what it's for, but I feel like it would look really nice for that like kind of eyeshadow eyeliner. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And maybe I'll use this shade right here. See what happens. Works really well. I definitely wouldn't use this for an actual eyeliner, like a liquid or I guess a cream eyeliner, but it does work pretty well for an eyeshadow eyeliner kind of look. This is a contour brush that I didn't really use, and this is a nose shadow brush, and I feel like this would be really nice also for like right here and even under the brow, so that's what I'm going to use it for. These brushes, you can definitely use them for different things, and even though I'm not using them for what they're intended for, I feel like they work really well. So now this is an eyeshadow brush, and I feel like I will use, you could use this even for like a cut crease makeup. I feel like that would work very well, and you could also use it under here, so that's what I'm going to use it for. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I have another little surprise for you. So I was actually able to get a discount code for you guys, so you get to save 10% off of anything on the My Makeup Brush Set website, which is basically www.mymakeupbrushset.com, and you get to save with the discount code below, which is SAVEWITHVANKAKNOWS, all in caps. And I will leave that in the description of this video as well, just so you have better access to the discount code. My overall review of these brushes is that I was actually very surprised by how well they blended everything. So for example, for the eyeshadow, I literally thought I would have to blend everything out with like a nice fluffy brush because that's what I'm used to using. But it actually worked pretty well. Like you can see, my eyeshadow is very blended, which I'm shocked by because it was pretty easy. You just literally applied it and like rubbed it on, and there was no fluffy brush or anything like that. Now I didn't do anything too complex with my eyeshadow, but the brushes did work well throughout this whole video. Now it does come in a little bag, little bag like this. And you do get really great brushes, and I feel like all of them can be used. I just wouldn't use them for what's written on them. But there was no single brush that I looked at and I was like, yeah, I would never use this. All of them I would use. So I think it's worth your money. And another thing is that I was able to use significantly less product using these brushes. And brushes last you like probably a year, so I feel like it's very important to get a brush that saves your product, because product is what actually gets used up and you have to replace. So this is definitely worth your money, and you will see me using these again in future videos because I do feel like they used so little product that I'm gonna be able to make a lot of videos for you guys with the products that I have right now. Let's just say that. So I feel like overall these brushes deserve like a 9 out of 10. I don't think I would give anything a 10. So these ones actually I would rate better than any brushes that I have so far. So if you're just going to invest your money into one set, this could work for you, but I feel like you still should get like a nice fluffy brush. Maybe one for your face and maybe just one fluffy brush to blend out your eyeshadow better. For things like this, it worked. I haven't really used it for like smoky eye or anything like that, but I do plan on using it in the future, so you will definitely see more reviews on these brushes. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you do choose to buy any brushes, now they have these brushes and they also have different type of brushes on their website as well, so you should definitely check out their website. The brushes are pretty inexpensive. Now the brushes retail between like $20 to $30 for a whole set. Okay, you can't even get that on Morphe. They're super cheap, and they don't feel cheap. Like, I try these, and I've tried these brushes at like MAC, just obviously like on my hand, and they feel literally the same. So you can't go wrong with this. I definitely recommend checking out the site and seeing what other products that they offer. So that's it for this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!